Well, good morning, everyone. Good afternoon, and perhaps even good evening. Thank you so much for dropping by and joining me for another exciting episode of the 3D Shenanigans. Mr. Ricky is here, Mr. Brian is here, Miss Nancy is here, and I think I've seen Mr. Dragonade here. And anyone out there who's watching on the pre-record or live, you're all more than welcome. Thank you for dropping by. It's an exciting day today. It's also a bit of a sleepy day. I don't know where the time went. We got up. Julia and I had nice breakfast over on a little new cafe that we tried out around the corner from us. And then we came home and it was 2 o'clock. That already didn't make any sense at all. And the next thing you know is it was 5. And I thought, oh my goodness, that's crazy, right? Julia can totally confirm that. Here's also birdsong, I think, for us. Do we have birdsong? Yes, there's birdsong. Ah, my new background humbling music there. Today does feel like Sunday. I agree. I totally agree. It's a slow day, but time really passes incredibly fast. So I don't know what's going on. I have no idea. Today, so hence we're going to be doing super sleepy things today. And my plan is to do 2 things. One is to, in fact, size up my people. I've worked out how to do it thanks to something called an animation blueprint. Let's see if I remember it. It shouldn't take too long, but it's a very repetitive process implementing it for like 100 characters or so. So let's see how we get through that. And we might not do all characters today, but that's the plan, to at least start with them. And the other thing that I'd like to have a crack at today is to do the curtain in front of the screen that's going to open. So I'll tackle that with Marvelous Designer. In fact, let's go and see if it's even installed here, and potentially do an update if available, or just not if it's not applicable. You can look at that. There is an update, new software update for my old version of Marvelous Designer. That is very cool, and they've fixed a ton of stuff. That is exciting. Do we want to update this maybe next time, right? Let's go and do this next time. Let's see if it even starts still, just to check. Yeah, so Marvelous Designer, that's going to be an interesting one, because we need to do we could do this with a rigged version of something that we attach our cloth to. Or we can do it with the morph. I think the morph might be easier. It's just something that we need to build in Blender, sort of pre-build, pre-make the animation, get the animation into Marvelous Designer, just a little strip to which we attach cloth, and the cloth then goes and sort of moves itself to the sides, and that's what Marvelous Designer is going to simulate, and then we're going to get it out again. So that still works. I'm excited about this. UV editor, 2D pattern window, there we go. This is all good. Marvelous Designer checked out. I think I have the latest version. Have I though? From my external drive. I've done some fiddling and testing on my laptop. Let me just see if all the files have synced here. I think they were in here, and then there's RL level sequences and Auditorium 1. Let me just see if this is the same one here. This one's my local drive, this one's my external drive, and we're in level sequences. And Auditorium 1 is from the 21st at 8:05, and that is the one. That's perfect. That is just so exciting. That means let's go and start with that first. How was your week, everyone? Did you have a good week? I had a busy week. It sort of came and went, really. I did a lot of chapel rebuilding for a set. We've animated it in a sort of a set. The director's changed his mind about how he wants the set to look. So we're going to leave the exact placement of all the objects in place, but redoing some of them. And this is good because some of them are a little too low res as we go close up, and there's only so much you can do with texture, so I have to do some stuff with geometry, most notably things like wall corners. So it's fair enough if you put 2 cubes together and that's a wall corner and you think, yeah, that's all good, and we put a texture on it from afar, looks all good, even with a good texture, especially with a good texture. But then as you get closer, you see it's just there's no detail on it. So I'm using something called Erode It, which is by CG Matter, a plugin or an add-on that can turn relatively simple geometry into something that has a bit of eroded flair to it, so very high resolution. But of course you can't UV unwrap that, so I have to use that as a HD geometry and then use a slimmer version of that geometry for the UV unwrap thing, bake things in Substance Painter, put a texture on it, then put the low res plus the texture into Unreal Engine, try it out, think that didn't look quite right, go back to the beginning, and so forth. So it's one of those types of weeks. So yeah, lots of fiddling. Yeah, and it's also good to get back to this. So thankfully, I've worked out how to scale the people. I made a video about it that's already out as a supporter release, and it will come to the public YouTubes very shortly. Also, lots of other videos that I've put out for supporters only. That I'm scheduling them so that they're coming out publicly within a week from one another. There's a few about Cascadeur. There's a couple about iClone and Unreal Engine, sort of the system that we're doing here. Another one I'm going to make is about the Cascadeur to Unreal Bridge. Then I have a live link bridge. It's not quite as elegant yet as the iClone to Unreal Engine bridge, but I think that might come, eventually. So yeah, it's good stuff. It's getting better and better. Not that I'd use it for everything, but it has some things where Cascadeur really excels and some really good things that you can use. And I'm very much a person who uses whatever highlights an app has and not just be pedantic and do everything in that app. Like iClone does most of what I want. Doesn't scale characters though, but hey, that's just one of those things. Yes, and now it's Saturday. My goodness. Had a lot of fun with Cyberpunk. That's how I've lost a little bit of time, or lost track of time, I should say. I was investigating the death of a mayor, I believe. That was quite cool. Let's go back into the interior and start with all the people that are sitting on the benches. And once we've sorted that, we can go, if we see how we feel, and then we go into the auditorium, not auditorium, to the foyer, and apply the same trick there. So the way this works is once we've made an animation blueprint, we can copy all the nodes we have and just copy and paste them into each animation blueprint, but we have to make one for every skeletal mesh. So some of the people we reuse, so that's quite nice. We'll find that out, which ones we've already made. Then we just need to plug the thing in, but others we just have to recreate the animation blueprint and just paste in the nodes. I only have to create them for the first one. And I hope I can remember how to do it. Let's see where we go from there. This here might have been my demo, yes. So this is just the demo one. So we don't really need that. There's also a spotlight here. I'm going to leave that in there for now. I used that so I could illustrate what I'm doing with these people, and they just read a little bit better with more light on it. Yeah, but for now, let's go and use this. Size demo can also go in here for now. There, I think one of these people, some of these people, have I done some of these people? I thought I did. Maybe I didn't. Maybe I haven't. I thought I did this on the, maybe I did it on the laptop and then didn't really say it. Yeah, these guys are still small. Maybe there is a difference. In versions here on my external compared to my internal drive. Here, let me just go and close that one down and then go and just copy that in there, because I thought I had done a little bit of work in the lead up to it, but of course I don't remember which what that was with. I think it was Auditorium 1. Let's just copy these 3 from here into here. Ding. Yes, replace. Because is open another program. Hey, that's a good point. Let's go and let's close this down. Let's just save, yes. So much prep work before you get to the actual stuff you want to do. Try again. Perfect. Okay. That is it. Not this, but this. Yes, good. Freshest coffee you can imagine. Very good. I think it is the last of Starbucks Christmas blend, believe it or not. I invested into some around, well, in December. And these are the last beans I have hand ground. So okay, let's try this again. And Brian, really well done for finding that little black box of forbidden knowledge. What was actually inside? Brian just posted a picture on our Discord of something he found in a cupboard that was a little black box, sealed of course, and it had a nice label on it that said forbidden knowledge. And I'm thinking, what was it? It's good to have boxes like that dotted around. Okay, let's see if we have better luck. It's forbidden, of course, yes, of course. Now let's see if this works. It might not, but then again it might. No, it looks like these have also not really changed, or maybe some of them have. We're just going to have to go through them one by one. It looks like some of them have changed, so some may have have this applied already. So Auditorium number 1. Auditorium 1, there's you. Do you have, and yeah, look at that. So she already has an animation blueprint. So I don't have to redo her. And since she's in the back row, it doesn't actually matter that her placement is not fantastic. But let's just go and have a look at that. And see where she's scaled from. I think it might be better if we don't scale her from the root, yeah, but instead from the pelvis. If we do that and compile, then her placement changes a little bit. I think that might be better here. I think I should do that for all these guys. So Auditorium 1, let's go through everyone in Auditorium 1 here. In fact, starting with these guys. Well, she can be hidden because she's done here. Auditorium 1 and 3, those are 1, 2, and 3. Those are the things that we need to do here. So this guy, and then I'll show you how to set this up. So we go through that. Oh, so it is indeed forbidden knowledge. Yes, that makes perfect sense. Yes, root. Let's go and change that to pelvis. Compile, ding, perfect, and then you're in a better position here as well. You actually look okay already, so you can go get hidden, you can hide, trio, that's that. Start at the very top here, far crowd. There's you're at the very back here. You don't even have light. I think I may have done the whole thing here, so yeah, that's perfect. All I need to do is then use Guys's animation blueprint basically, because pelvis is what we need here, and I'll explain in a moment why that is and what we're doing here. Dynamic scale is always 1.2. Yeah, perfect, good stuff. So that's you taken care of, and then you probably are also where you need to be. Oh, that is a nice idea. So you give him the whole box since he's the guy who's actually going to be doing the work. Yeah, that is nice. Very cool. She's not actually scaled up correctly. She is. Okay. She looks still relatively tiny here. That's you as well. Far crowd. Loners. Well, yeah, buddy, you also. See, I thought I did something. That's quite nice. I just want to correct this one thing. Root to pelvis. Ding. Save it all. Yes. Very neat. And then there is... Whoops, it's totally not what I meant. Where's your other buddy? Far crowd, you, we've done. Where's this guy? Yes, you. Root to pelvis, check. Sometimes they just don't look big enough, do they? So, but it matches the seats now better, so that's nice. Midfield. Got you guys. Pelvis, check. And then there's you. So you're going into work, Brian, on Tuesday. Is that the last time, potentially? Or are you still open to doing bits and pieces for them from time to time, if and when required? Like, I know you're a gentleman of leisure these days, so it's... But I don't know if you wanted to keep a hand in just for, you know, the fun of it, the social aspect. Maureen Callahan, good to see you. You're going to be pelvis sized. And you too, Party M00013. So some of the people who are going to be walking, and I think we're going to have similar ones, we might go and make another animation blueprint, because I think this node I can't override, or I could, but it's going to be a bit tricky, so it's probably easier to just make another animation blueprint that will just specify a different bone. Okay. Me bad English. I don't think it's a bad idea at all, Brian. I think it's nice. That way, yeah, we've done you guys. That way, you just phase it out really gradually. I do like that. I mean, we've worked many years. It feels wrong to just stop that from one day to the next. It's much better to phase it out gradually and not go cold turkey. Maybe you can become a full-time streamer. Full-time Critter Cove, 8 hours a day. Can you imagine? What a crazy job that must be. Best leave that alone. He's got his coffee. Perfect. You're sized up correctly. And then there's you. Putting bums on seats. Well, it's a long story. I'll let Brian tell you the details. But I think, I don't actually know when it was, but maybe 6 months ago or so. Was it? It's probably longer ago already. It's actually longer ago, isn't it? There we go. And that's that is auditorium number 1 completely done. So now all we need to do is repeat this process for auditorium 2 and 3 and just place the same animation blueprints to all these tracks. So that's not actually that big a deal. We just need to go through them. So that was auditorium 1. This is 2 and this one's 3, and then we're done with the auditorium here already. So far crowd, ding, here we go. Oh, you might be done as well. Yes, are you done? No, you're not done. I might actually leave you, because you in the small seats, that relationship seems to work. It's just in the bigger seats and the guys in the front, that is what isn't working. So we're going to leave you guys alone. Take it on and you guys here, you need the treatment. That is how we're going to do that. Right, exactly. 9 months, yeah. It's tough with putting an exact date on it, because to me it feels like it's both relatively recent, but also it's been a while. So yeah, 9 months feels about right. So all we need to do on this guy is then apply the animation blueprint. And in so doing, give this guy a keyframe here, so that we can change the animation mode from custom to blueprint. Then we're going to go and actually do that. Animation blueprint, cool. It says it here, does not say it here, which is odd. Sometimes you just need to wiggle the playhead for it to understand, hey, this is what we want now. You say animation blueprint, but then this hasn't quite changed here, because I really need to have that changed so that we can attach. So you can put the animation blueprint on it. Dang, that's just bad. It is giantess content. Yes, that is what we're doing today, Michael. Welcome. Good to see you. Yeah, so these guys here, they're too small for these hefty large seats. So the smaller seats in the back, the people look okay, but the larger ones here, they don't even reach the floor here. So yeah, we're gonna totally take care of that. It's just that there's something problematic with the guy in the brown suit here. Let's move. We have better luck with her here. Let's go and reset you here. Is that possible? Hello, hello. So that doesn't work. But if we give the keyframe, come on, we should be able to change it. If this doesn't work, then it could be because I'm sort of 3 levels deep. I might just bring up the... Yeah, it's not taking it. I might just bring up these sequences manually instead. So I'll just go and save this and close this down, and then I'll bring in the Auditorium 2 and 3 independently, and we'll do it that way. It might actually be a bit easier on the system. So Auditorium 1 we're done with. Auditorium 2 is this one. Yeah, and so her colleagues have already... They already left. These guys we said we're going to leave alone. Yeah, and he isn't in the correct position just now. And that's because the thing has actually taken it here. As we can see here, we just don't have an animation blueprint. So Control B, here it is. That's what we want to give him. You're back in your seat, you're back in your seat, and you've got your correct size. Now that's perfect. So you can go, then casual F this woman here. Gonna do the same thing. That goes in here, and she's now also the correct size, so we don't have to worry about her. And same with Party Woman here. Yeah, so now it works. So I can set a keyframe, set this to the animation blueprint, Control B, and then we bring either of them, this one here or that one, into here. Wiggle this around. Are you good? Yeah, you're good. So that's that front row done here. Then further midfield. Yeah, you could also benefit from being sized up. So let's go and select that on you. Set keyframe. How are you doing today, Michael? Are you enjoying the weekend? Animation blueprint. Put animation blueprint in, and the man is sized up. Hide. Go to the next man. Yeah, loner number 2. You also. You should also. Maybe you're in the wrong position here as well. So we're gonna take care of you, buddy. Don't you worry about it. Keyframe followed by animation blueprint. Control B to bring up his blueprint. Put that in here. And while we're at it, let's just go and make a small positional change here. Just move you over to the middle of the seat. That's where your keyframe is, and you're not going to change position here. No, perfect. You're just excited to be here. I like it. Hide you. Further midfield, Maureen Callahan. Oh, you're working on animation yourself. That's nice. That's very cool. That's very nice. Okay, Maureen Callahan, wherever you were supposed to be. What program are you working in, animation-wise? Oh, that's animation asset. Sorry about that. Animation blueprint. Put that in here. Still don't know where Maureen is. Maureen? There she is. Much better. I mean, I say that. Is it better? It's probably good enough. I just wanted to make absolutely sure that she is big enough, because if she isn't, I see something's afoot here, isn't there? She is scaled from the pelvis. But if she really was supposed to be bigger, she would... Translation, rotation, scale, replace existing from the pelvis. She would technically be indeed bigger, and she is not. Her feet do not quite reach the ground, so there's something not quite right. Let me go and increase her manually here. I think something's not quite the way it's supposed to be. So from the skeletal mesh, I'll use her animation blueprint here. And on that, I'll change dynamic scale to something 1.5 maybe. There we go. Now you're sort of a giantess lady here. Oh, you animated iClone and export to Unreal. Nice one. That is exactly my workflow as well. And isn't that amazing? This is just so cool, isn't it? That, for me, that is literally the killer workflow. And you get best of both worlds. You get a top-end animation front end. I'm going to go set a keyframe on her as well, so that she's going to stay like that. And obviously, Midget Man next to her, we're gonna have to go and do something about him as well. I'm going to go and make sure my playhead stays in the middle here, so that it doesn't sneak out of the red and green anymore. Right, you. Midget man. Right, I have to say, I'm with you there. It's absolutely wild. And the way you can just bounce geometry back from Unreal Engine into iClone, animate around it, send the animation back, it's just incredible. It's so good. Yeah, so same with you here. I'm gonna go and I'll trust the animation blueprint is okay. I'll go and target you here, and on that dynamic scale, what do we say on marine here? Did we say 1.5? 1.5. Keyframe, all right. Woo! Since these guys are further back, it might actually not be a bad idea for them to be a little bigger, just because it means they read better, I'm thinking. Unrelated question, Ravenin. How do I create a corrective morph like those clothing helper morphs that only affect the clothes but not the Genesis model? Well, you go and you bring in the Genesis figure and the clothing separately into Blender. Base resolution for the clothing. And then you go and bring in so you pose the figure for the corrective morph that you want to make, and just for that one. So not like it's if you're making a corrective morph for whatever, arm up 25 degrees left or something, then you dial up just that, and you bring in the figure and the clothing into Blender separately, and then you buff out the clothing the way it needs to behave for the corrective to function correctly. So whatever clipping there is, you buff that out, or whatever stretching there is in the mesh, you sculpt that out, and then you export that morph out in base resolution and import it with exactly the same name that the figure has for that name. So by doing that, by providing a morph that is exactly named like the Genesis figure, you make sure that when that morph gets dialed in the figure, and Daz Studio finds the same morph with the same name on the clothing, it'll get auto dialed in. Oh yeah, you do. Yeah, in that case, you don't have to worry about the naming. You just name it whatever you like. So, like something waist wider, you just make a wider waist morph and import that and provide that. If it's a universal one, if it's not something that needs to be automatic. But like you say, unrelated. So why then, I wonder, is dynamic scale not properly responding here as it should? Red is never good. Why is that happening? Considering it did work just fine a minute ago, I don't really understand that. It's like, look, it's like it doesn't have... It doesn't have a reference to that anymore. That is peculiar, isn't it? Fixed actor references, has that? Well, there we go, that hasn't worked. That's nothing to worry about, I guess. You can hide. Do we have the same problem with her here? We shouldn't be, because we've scaled you up. And sometimes it's just not reacting, but that's probably just a caching issue. Let's not worry too much about it. This is Marina 8 times the size. I'll bring it back to 1.5 here. And then I'll go and just ignore them for now and hope it's okay for the final render. Further midfield hide. You guys, tiny as well. No, because you're just importing the morph into the clothing, not the Genesis figure. The Genesis figure, in your case, is just a reference as you're modeling. It sort of depends. I mean, maybe I'm overloading you with detail or with something that I'm assuming you already know. Do you know how to make clothing in Blender and bring it into Dash Studio? Have you rigged it? Does it work properly? Is it follower clothing? Do you know what those terms mean? It's fine if not, but if I'm assuming you know that and you don't, then that's a bit of a problem. Animation Blueprint Deviant is here. How's it going, buddy? Let's go and put you into here. You've never, okay, fine. Then honestly, I wouldn't worry about that. I would. Is that the plan, or is it? What's the end goal here? Do you want to make clothing from scratch, or do you want to adjust something that's sort of 90% there? Animation Blueprint goes into here. Check. How was your Sunday, Deviant? Good to see you, buddy. Okay, that's you guys from the midfield sorted out. Brian has just admitted that the forbidden knowledge is going to be shared with a colleague of his. So perhaps it's not going to be shared with us, but certainly with his colleague. So that's nice. You guys are also in the tall seats here, so we're going to totally bring you in as well. There we go. You're clipping a little bit in the seat. I'm fine with that. I think I'm fine with that. We barely see where you are. You then use Animation Blueprint. You're now a tall guy too. And that is that done. Okay. You know, all adequate size, better size, except I'm thinking you guys could literally be just a tad bigger. I might just do that. Do this and then dynamic scale. Maybe 1.5 is too much here. And it's also not quite being acknowledged. So that's just bad. Let's put that down to caching issues. And we'll make it 1.3. I don't want to make it more. 1.3, and also did I give you a keyframe here, Party Woman? Party Woman, I did. Good stuff. So you need that as well. The birds, well, they're like, they're in here with me. They're enjoying our company. I thought instead of music, better than complete silence, Yes, it's somehow it's not completely being recognized here. Let's go and close it down. And just open it again. I'll put a reference in the level just while we're doodling with it. Are they 1.3? They certainly seem to be. Okay, that's all I'm going to do on that. So now the last one, and then we'll go and have a look at the people in the auditorium, followed by Marvelous Design and Blender, and then make ourselves a screen, not a screen, a curtain that goes and opens up here, because we don't have that in the set. So I'm going to build that in Marvelous Designer and make the animation in Blender so it goes and opens the curtain for us just as Brian walks in. And then if we go to the wide shot, we can just see the screen behind it, 3D Shenanigans being revealed. So it's going to be a nice red curtain opening up there. You've got kangaroos. What sort of noises do they even make? I have no idea. I'd love to have some kangaroo noises. I might actually take you up on that if you have some. Let's go do it. Be good to have all kinds of wildlife that'll join us here on the streams, and also maybe every 10 minutes go into a different biome. Something that starts with birds, and then we go into something sort of wildlifey. I'm all for it. Aliens. What sort of noises do they make then? What sort of noises do aliens make? Okay, you here. Casual woman, change into animation blueprint. Check. Put in animation blueprint and everything is solved. OMG, somebody scream. I'm so glad it's such a relatively simple fix. Hide you, loners. Do we need to even do you? Yes, we need to do you because you're not in the tall seat, so totally have to take care of you. The grunts, you mean the grunts from Halo? That would be quite funky to have them in the background. Can we find you? You! Sir, yes, sir is too small for the seat. Sir needs to be made bigger. There, sir has been taken care of. Midfield, can't guarantee if they're still midfield. They're actually... We're going to leave these guys in these seats at the back. We're going to leave them as they are. Same with you, Maureen Callahan. We're going to leave you as you are. Trio number 1. Well, you're also here, so you're going to be... You're just there for decoration somewhere in the background. We're good. Unless, do we see your heads? Oh, we do, don't we? We have this shot from here. So it might actually be good to... Yes, fine. Let's go and take care at least of you in this row here. Yeah, so we'll leave you and you, but we're going to take care of your 2 trios here. Let's do that. You guys are going to be my favorite 1.3 people here. Oh, really? Michael, that is interesting. Have you? That's very funny. Right? I think so too, Ricky. Yes. I've made a little video. It's coming out. It's just a 10-minute demo explanation of what I'm doing here and how this all goes together. So basically, as an explanation of why this works versus scaling directly from the animation here, or from here. If I scale this, then it gets scaled from the pivot that's set in the animation itself, which is not at the point where the figure is, and that's why when we scaled it last time the figure moves, and that's what we don't want. But using this animation blueprint here uses basically game logic to grab an entry point. So this plays here, this animation plays here, and we're intercepting it through the animation blueprint. So it intercepts it here with this default slot that is set on the skeletal mesh. From here, we just grab whatever comes out, local to component space, and then with this node here, we're saying let's make a change to either translation, rotation, or scale. And I'm using a variable to set the scale overall. So vector, you could use X, Y, and Z independently, but we're using all of them at the same time. And this node then goes and makes that change depending on what bone you set it on. So when they walk outside, then I would need the root bone because that's at the figure's feet. But when they're sitting, I need the next one up. So in this case, it's pelvis, but it could also be something like hip for DAS figures or for other figures. They sometimes have a hip thing, but that's basically the node in the middle. If you grab it, the whole figure moves, and then it would scale from that point. So in that case, while they're sitting down, I'm scaling from the bum, so they don't hover. That's why I'm using that. And if they're walking, like for the guys outside or for the guys in the foyer, we need to have the root bone here. But we're good with the pelvis here. So that then gets replaced. This change I'm making here, like 1.2 scale, and then the output pose, that is then what gets what comes out in the viewport. So that's why this works. It's basically made for game logic, for things like if you had an idle pose and then you want to add something like an eye blink or sort of a head looking around on top of it, or if you had a lower body motion and you're running and now you're carrying a gun, that's the same thing. So on one hand you could have one with your arms down, and the other one could be now I'm doing something else like waving to somebody. This is done with an animation blueprint logic like that. And you do something, you have a similar node here. It's not a transform bone, it would be, I think, blend by bone. So you would use something like that, and you can use them in combination as well. So that's why this works basically. And I didn't know you could hook them into sequences in the same way. So that's pretty cool. That wasn't actually his blueprint node here. Control B brings up whatever is selected in the content browser. Next to it is the animation blueprint. And then I'll just pop that in here. Now he's larger. And this scales from the hip, as I said. So yeah, that's why that works. It's just so cool. You also... Oh, Leo, that's totally cool. I'm just glad you're here. I was thinking of you this morning because I was playing Cyberpunk. I think Pam has now made the basilisk, and she's now going to run the family together with Saul. So they're all happy now, I guess. I think it's this one. How is your how's your Saturday? I was going to say your Sunday. No, that's the good thing about it, Michael. The animation itself, the actual animation sequence will stay exactly like it is. You don't have to resubmit it. You don't have to change its position or anything. It's just something that gets applied after the animation sequence. Basically, after the sequencer plays it, that's when this happens. That's when this animation blueprint kicks in. So pretty neat. And all that is then done non-destructively, so you can go and size things up. Like if I'm thinking she should really be larger or smaller regardless of what the default variable value is that's in the animation blueprint, you can override that in sequencer as well. So it doesn't mess or interfere with the actual animation sequence that comes from iClone. So that's pretty neat. It is, isn't it? It totally is. I tell you, it was quite an eye-opener. It was quite an eye-opener. You're already pretty tall here, so maybe we're gonna go and leave you alone, but you guys are a bit tiny, so you're gonna stay as you are. Yes, and it's applied basically just before it gets displayed in the viewport. It's insane stuff. Unreal Engine has just so many insane things. Such insanity. You go here and you're already sorted. Now you Control B. Quick keyframe here. Change mode to animation blueprint. Put animation blueprint in. Boom. Same sequence. I'm okay that you're. Maybe we're gonna go and bring you up just a tad, just a smidge. There, perfect. Because you're tiny, we don't want you to. Want you to sink into the seats there. And you, yeah, we haven't actually changed you, so you just got your drink, and which I'm hoping has been bought in the movies, and I think that is it here for Auditorium number 3. Was it? Yes, Auditorium number 3. This is good. This is good. Let's address the problem outside then. I think the guys who are walking into here, I think they don't need to be changed. We might change Brian in one shot when you walk in front of the screen here. Although, well, we might not. Yes, let's have a look at the whole sequence and see where we feel we need to change more stuff. Like basically all these people here, and I think I might go and make. So I could do one of two things. I can either make a completely new animation blueprint for the people who stand versus the people who sit down, or I can make something like an array or just a Boolean switch that says use root versus use the pelvis. I might do that. That would just mean I have to amend the animation blueprints as we use them. So it could then go and say, do you want to scale them from the hip? Oh, 5 days, Leo. That's crazy. Oh, sounds like you're in for another puzzle that you're going to have to solve, Michael. Four pub-style half-pint mugs. Wow. Brian, we can make that happen. You can grow bigger as you walk. You can grow into the giant. That's not a bad idea. And then perhaps we'll morph you into something like a golem, and then you just go. Aah! That could be good for a Halloween episode, or for the greater good, for science, right, Michael? Exactly. That is not a bad idea. What a cool idea. So these guys need to be made bigger, at least 1.5, I think, size. Then we go, and I think this is true for all the guys that are walking here. Yeah, so they all need to be bigger. We'll see how much bigger. These guys, most of these don't have an animation blueprint yet, so I have to go and make them up anyway. Some of them do, like she definitely does. And Maureen Callahan, for example, also does have that. So yeah, basically everyone who's walking needs that sort of treatment. So we're in the same boat here. Foyer crowd 1, 2, and 3. Let's start with Foyer crowd 1. in the there. Foyer crowd 1. Foyer crowd 1. I think I'll just bring all 3 into here. Just because it's easier to where are you guys? Oh, there, perfect. Let's experiment with Maureen Callahan here. Hang on a minute, you are the walking people here. I don't think that is what I meant. Guess the what were they called? Maybe I didn't name them appropriately. That's very possible. Foyer crowd, that's it. Foyer crowd. I thought that is foyer crowd. So foyer crowd 1. But I don't see the guys standing here. I see all these guys walking. How to easily confuse yourself. Do you know, speaking of add-ons and plugins, I have just bought something. I think it's still on. Let me just go and find it for you. It's a massive carnival set by the guys from Meshing Gun. I don't know if you've seen it, but look at that. You've got a day and 19 hours to go to get this. So it's a huge carnival ride. I'll go and post this without the tracking BS into the chat right now. Have a look at it. It's $30 and we can actually play it in a minute. There's a downloadable carnival. So it's a whole level with Ferris wheel, bumper cars, House of Horrors. The rides are not something you can use gameplay-wise out of the box, but you can make that happen. You can just go and have your character buy a ticket and then jump on one of these carousels and then run around. It comes with a demo level on the Fab Marketplace that you can just download and have a look at, but you can make your own game with it, and it's more or less the whole thing is set up for you. $30. It's crazy stuff, and this is the one that is, I think, on Fab. I think it's $1,200 for the Pro license. Yeah, I've just bought that and had a great time looking at it. It's amazing, and it's only got another day to go, so that is really neat. Yes, have a look at that. It's it's quite crazy what they've made there, and this. Project here, like on the Fab listing itself, down here it has a playable demo. So if you want to have a look at it, it's about 10 gigabytes in size to unpack and then wander around. It's pretty neat. They've got a daytime and a nighttime mood there. Apparently also a snow level in the project that's not in the playable demo. But yeah, quite insane. And roller coaster may be coming in the future, so it's it's quite impressive. I'm thinking we should do a hidden object game with that. So Magic Bones UE5 Recreator. I think I've heard of that. I think Kiwi has that. I think we were talking about it, and I still don't know where you guys are here. You, for example, Casual M18. Where are you? Which sequencer do you belong? Ah, it's the one that isn't labeled. Shot 07. Well, of course. Now I know why I didn't find it. 07. So let's call that entrance crowd. Let's just call it RL entrance crowd. That is the level sequence that I need. Yes, absolutely. I think the price and also the absolute lack of documentation and catastrophic tutorials about that product, not the carnival, the magic bones thing. I think that is what put me off buying it. But it does address some issues that no other thing does address. So entrance crowd, there we go. Perfect. I think we've got it. Yes, I think for that price I would just like to see better documentation, to be honest. Okay, let's say you, Marine, I'll isolate you here. If we were to make you bigger, let's do this again like we did with for the sitting down stuff. And then we go and bring, oh, you're a different Maureen Callahan, of course. Well, that already solves that problem. So we need to make a new, because I have 3 Maureen Callahans here, and each of them has a different skeleton. So I could, in usually what you do is you mark them as compatible skeletons, so you don't have that. But because I've transferred her basically 3 different times from iClone, I've renamed her so that each of them has an independent skeleton. Okay, so we need to make a new skeleton anyway, a new animation blueprint anyway. So we might as well stick with that and just check if this bool logic could work in principle. So here's how we do this. Create an animation blueprint, and we're going to call you ABP underscore Maureen Callahan, and we're going to open you up once saved, of course, and maybe put you not in there just now. That's always greatly confusing to Unreal Engine when you do something too many things at a time. Dynamic scale, we need to make a variable here called dynamic scale, and this needs to be float exposed to cinematics, compile, and scale. I think I'm going to make you 1.5 here in the oh yes, and then you have that problem, so we're going to put you in here, and then that works, right? I'm thinking that probably works. So make animation, make the variable first, and then you do that. So in our case, we want to do this from the root, and then you're standing. So now we want to put that into here, wiggle you around a little bit. Maureen, where you at? Maureen's not in the right position. What is Maureen thinking about? Let me go and just close the sequencer down and open it again. Which one was it again? Entrance crowd, that's it. Maureen is still not back. I'm super disappointed. She's got that. Maureen's gone. Let's switch you to custom asset. Here you are. So you're definitely here. And let's switch you to animation blueprint. Let's clear you out and see if that's really... That is the one we want to use. Maybe that's the wrong one. No, that's the one. Why does it not... hang on a minute. There's something not quite right here. Local to component. Note is unnamed was visible but ignored. Okay, fine. This here. Root. Scale replace existing. Why doesn't it work? Maybe the whole copy-paste thing wasn't working. Let me go and set this up from scratch then. So we start with default slot. Let's just go and compile and save. Start from the very beginning here. Default slot. Local to component. That is what we want. Transform, modify, bone. Scale. That becomes that. That is that. This bone to modify is root. Translate that if we can ignore scale is going to be replace existing. Was there something else? Compile? Oh yeah, of course. Put it into the output pose. That'll help. And then that happens there. So that's good. And you are happening here. Perfect. So it's just a caching issue. A caching issue. Is 1.5 maybe too big? It's too big, isn't it? Stick with 1.2. I'm thinking. A caching issue, Miss Moneypenny. Or even 1.3. I'm thinking 1.5 is probably too big, but maybe 1.3 isn't terrible, considering that otherwise this looks like Union Station here. So let's hope I don't have to set this up 50 times from scratch. That would be really good. Maureen's gone again. Terrible. So I'll go and copy all of this out. Move this around. Maureen's back. Perfect. So Maureen, invisible. And let's just do gentleman on the left here. Maureen is such a slippery eel. Let's see how this works. So you right click, create animation blueprint. ABP this guy. Open. Don't do anything yet, but put a new variable in called dynamic scale. Make sure it's a float. Make sure it gets exposed to cinematics. Let's compile. Let's set 1.3 as default. Let's paste that in. Connect that. Ideally, that's how I want it to work. And compile, and there's yes, he's done that. That's good. You then, sir. Animation blueprint. That goes in here. There we go. Perfect. That is how I had sort of hoped it was gonna work. Yes and no, Ricky. It's a good question. The reason why this happened is because iClone doesn't allow me to apply a scale on characters when I export it from iClone directly. So basically this option here, scale option, is just not there for characters. Location or rotation is there, and I got caught up in setting the crowd up, so I didn't really notice the size discrepancy at that point. So there plan for you to change any proportional issues is that you send each character individually into Character Creator, change it there, and then send it back to iClone. So that's what I was supposed to have done, but there's no easy way to just change the scale and then re-export to Unreal Engine. You have to take every single character individually, put them into Character Creator, change the scale, send them back to iClone, see if it matches. If it does, great. If not, you have to go back into Character Creator, change it there, send it back. So that's a little bit bizarre. On things like props, they have a scale option, but not for characters for some bizarre reason. I don't know why. Misguided. What's it? So yeah, that's that was the big that was a big problem, because otherwise I could have just applied this and then just sent the animations over again, and then that would have been that fix. But that is not that's not how that works in iClone. I don't really know why. Maybe in iClone 9 they're going to change that. Or maybe I don't know about the magic tick box, but yeah, that's what my understanding is. That's the only way to change scales. And of course I didn't want to do that because, you know. Oh, okay. Bone scaling, gotcha. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I can see it from their point of view as well. They say, look, we have this covered. It's just not in iClone, it's in Character Creator. So, you know, do it there. We give you a tool to do that there. If you choose not to use it, well, that's just, it's basically your problem. Yes, I can imagine it's the bone scaling that is the issue. Because it's not just the mesh that gets scaled. Because if you do that, if you were to just scale the mesh without the skeleton, without the bones, then you get like the horror fingers and things are out of proportion. So we don't want to do that either. My man's grown already. This is good. Keeps us on our toes in the 3D world. Aha. Okay, now you little people over here. Let's start with you, my man over here. Casual M0148. Let's give you an animation blueprint as well. Close some of my tabs down so I don't get totally confused. Float exposed to animatics. 1.3. Other than that, we actually like iClone, so it's easily forgiven. Easily forgiven. Ding! Tall guy, alright, woo! Whoop! YouTube says I'm offline. That isn't exactly correct. Looks like I'm still online. Internet being what it is, technology being what it is. That's just crazy. How about you here? Business F004. Oh, chat's disconnected, reconnected. Oh, you think I should have used 1.2 instead? Maybe 1.2 was the magic number. Let's judge it with the camera in place, Leo. I'm going to go and finish these 3 people off, and if that isn't good, then we're going to go and correct it. It's a good one. Yeah, I thought I buffered for a second or two there. Yeah, 1.2 worked really well in the auditorium, so maybe I should have stuck to that. Oh yes, her. I experimented with the blueprint there, but that didn't work either. Timon, let's just scale up the barriers. Ha ha ha. Easy. Scale everything up. Yeah, you have a very good eye, Leo. I appreciate you guys bringing this to my attention. Much like with the size, it's also, I like the idea that we all agree on that when we discussed that. Oops. There's just so many things you gotta do. It's insane, isn't it? So Michael, tell me, how long have you been using iClone? I've had iClone since 2023. And I've been learning it ever since. Sadly, I'm a really slow learner, so it hasn't grown on me until literally last year, really. But then I was also busy with a full-time animation project in Unreal Engine, so that didn't leave a great deal of time for learning. But it came in handy on so many occasions, and I'm so glad I bought it. And I keep finding other uses for it as well. Oops. Dun dun. Did we not give it the default value? Yeah, 0 is actually the size that she is now. Ding, there we go. Ascania is here. How's it going? How you doing, buddy? 100%. Ricky, that is something that's so important to remember in companies. You don't really work that way anyway. So this is why programs like Unreal Engine are so complex. It's not meant to be mastered by one guy doing it all. You know, it's just not like that. And it's just every department or every artist, tech artist, animator needs access to the same tool, but that doesn't mean you need to know and use the whole tool. That's just what we solo guys do. It's absolutely correct. Animation Blueprint. Happy Saturday, buddy. ABP Casual M0018A. Ascania, I'm totally embigifying my people with the embiginator, as Brian likes to call it. Dynamic scale. And then we're going to go and build a curtain with Marvelous Designer and Blender. And then we're hoping to bring all that in. Embigified, all right. Why, what's the warning during compilation? What warning is it? But with one warning, what's the warning? Is marked as exposed on spawn, is it? I'm sorry, maybe that was my mistake. Yes, no, good point. I didn't mean to do that. Expose on cinematics. That's what I was going to do. Thank you. No warning now. Good. Thank you, Unreal Engine. I appreciate that, man. Good stuff. Sometimes warnings are helpful. Let's not all just ignore them. J upsizes, Gemma. That's right. That's exactly right. J scales up things and people and all that. Good to see you. Happy Saturday. In celebration of you arriving, I'm totally going to pour myself another cup of coffee. The rest of the Starbucks Christmas blend. Soon to be no more. So now Leo made a very good point. I just want to make sure these were the only people here, right? In the entrance here. There's no one else here. Perfect. I just want to make sure once we save all that they're not too big or too small in relation to everything else with the camera. Only 8 months until Christmas Day. Man. That is depressing. Not that it's because 8 months is basically, that's like in a minute. What are we saying? Is this... So Maureen never wants to keep her size, but that could also be... I think I'm okay with 1.3 here. I'm not okay with his feet, but maybe we're not going to see them as that. Maybe we do see them. I don't like his feet. Let's not worry about his feet. It's a control rig issue. We could grab a control rig and change that on the animation. We can totally do that. We can do that. We can totally do that. So let's keep his feet in mind. I'm thinking the scale of these guys, has this even happened here? It has happened, isn't it? Yes. So the barriers are sort of on this height. I can sort of see why you think that's just a tad, just a smidge too small. Fixed it, look at that. What do you think now? It is, right? I think we will leave it like that for these guys. And I think 1.3, and these guys upscaled 1.1 if necessary. But if we were to do this on all the other guys in the auditorium, they're gonna read much better. And I think then we're done with it. It's worth doing. Foyer crowd 1, 2, and 3 next. Haha. Foyer crowd 1, 2, and 3. I think this were these, right? And there's not that much animation blueprintage set up because some of these guys are duplicated already. We just have to patiently go through it and do it mainly for the first one, and then I would just do it in order here. And do it for the first one, and then the second and third we just go and plug those instances in, and then we're good. So top to bottom, you. That's not that mesh. Oh, it's because that is this mesh. You, young lady with the pink hair. Gotcha. Gave me quite the fright there. So okay, create animation blueprint. ADP, what's your name? Then close some of my tabs down to keep things slim. New variable, dynamic scale, float, exposed to cinematics, 1.3 default size, 1.3 rather than 103. Connect that. Set keyframe, switch to animation blueprint usage, plug in animation blueprint, and lady is taller. And height. Perfect. Next one. That didn't take as long. It's about 1 minute. Grammar. Okay. Yeah, let's time it. Let's turn it into a sport. Into a challenge. Like shearing sheep. I didn't know there was an actual sheep shearing competition, but apparently there is. And people can do it in under 1 minute. Which is quite crazy. Poor sheep. They don't look pretty, mind you, but apparently it is possible. Expose the cinematics. Size of grandma is going to be 1.3. Use animation blueprint. Use this animation blueprint. Perfect. Grandma is now taller. Okay. Hi, grandma. Next person is casual gentleman in the shirt. She is the Hulk. Grandma Hulk. Now that is something we haven't seen Marvel produce yet. Right, that's it, exactly. New Zealand. I think they're pretty high on the list of people who compete in that. Yes, I used to work for a company that they had the SNTV office was in there. SNTV is the sports arm of APTN, a news agency. So people who want to report on news, they can subscribe to APTN. You get these custom filmed pieces that they can then re-edit in-house and then over voice. And SNTV is sort of the sports arm, and they covered all these things like most amazing beard competition, as well as Olympics and all kinds of other sports around the world, basically. And sheep sharing was in fact, those people are athletes, if you think about it. Too funny. Yes, and while they can do it in under a minute, the poor sheep, I mean, first of all, the poor sheep doesn't really know what's happening. It gets turned upside down and gets yanked around and leaves unscathed and shorn for sure, but also slightly traumatized, I find. Expose 1.3. Paste in connect. Compile large, yes. Keyframe. Use animation blueprint in principle. Use this one in particular. Casual gentleman is now taller. It seems bizarre that I'm going over random people, but I'm going in order of what's next on the sequencer. That's why it goes and switches around here. Yuga, you there, sir. Okay. I wonder if they actually enjoy not having all that wool, because it's not like they look after it. It just grows and it gets all matted together and dirty and yeah, I don't know. I think especially when it gets warm again, I have a feeling they do enjoy it. It's just crazy how quickly it regrows, doesn't it? Then we switch that to this. Then we put that in here, and then we go and make you... Oops. Ding. You there, sir. Yes. I've seen you with a beige jacket sitting already in the theater. Just saying. As Perry Mason would say, well, how can you be in two places at the same time? Good question, Mr. Mason. By the magic of cloning, of course. Yes, it works, it works. Thank you for being here, Michael. Appreciate it. I'll be back on Monday. If you're still working on your animation on Monday, do drop by from 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Really, really nice to see you. And good luck with the project. Drop us a link when you're in a position to share it. I love to see what you're doing. And let's stay in touch. Always nice to meet a fellow animator, especially if he's using the exact same tools that I'm using. Very good. Good to talk shop. Okay, you. Variable, dynamic scale, only 50 more people to go. And of course that curtain. Oh. .3. There we go. You. And on the next two sequences, we just need to do this step here. So plugging this thing in and changing the mode over. So we don't have to then recreate the animation blueprints there. Because they should already then exist. Let's get a little crowded over here. Control W will close those down, which was a little confusing when you've been working with Unreal Engine 4 before. Control W duplicated an object in Unreal Engine 4. Control W closes a tab in Unreal Engine 5. So one of those things. But it's sort of the Control D is really the duplication, generic duplication modifier. Oop, I've done something wrong again. Ticked the wrong button probably on this. Yes, expose on spawn, expose to cinematics. So just like before. Okay, that's you done. Then you. Okay. Expose to cinematics, compile, give it a default scale, put stuff in, connect, and it's sized up, yes. Taller, all right. Control Shift S every once in a while to make sure in case something untoward does happen. Kid. We could just leave her, as you maybe know, no, she also needs to be scaled up. She's already tiny, so you're also gonna get an animation blueprint. Could consider making her 1.2 just because we can. Office Gossip, I didn't see you there, buddy. Sorry about that. I didn't mean to overlook you. What do I think of DAS 2026 Alpha so far? I reserve not to have a judgment about that. I thought it would be long out the door by now. I can't believe it's still only a beta version, that there's still... I can't believe the snail's development pace, to be brutally honest. I mean, I understand things do take time and all, but man, how long have they been working on this? By the time they're done with it, the 60 cards are coming out, so I don't know. Deviant, how you doing, buddy? You're back. I'm still sizing up people here, but I'm nearly done, I think. I'm nearly done. Now we're doing the walkers in the foyer here. And once we're done with that, we're going to totally take care of the... Look, one more person, then plug in that animation blueprint a few more times in Auditorium 2 and 3, and then we're going to jump into Marvelous Designer. To Woolworths! Ooh, you still have Woolworths in Australia? Man, that brings back memories. I didn't know. I thought they closed them worldwide. Sort of glad to hear they're still around somewhere on Earth. Oop, that's not really supposed to be a Boolean, it's supposed to be a float. Okay, Coles, that's not a brand we're familiar with here. In the Northern Hemisphere. Animation blueprint, this particular one. And there we go, perfect. Okay, so that is RL Foyer number 1. Oh, really? That's how fascinating. I think that is something... Have our Woolworths ever sold groceries? I don't think so. How fascinating. And Coles is in the bookstore. So the difference between these two is that they just have different positions here on some of these people, and the overall position is shifted. That's why I have 3 copies of it. So the position where these guys are is different, so that it makes up a larger crowd. Oh, Kmart! You still have Kmart! That's crazy! Kmart went out of business here in the US. That is pretty interesting. Interesting, isn't it? It's like going to a different country, which Australia is. So same here. I don't think in the UK Woolworths sold groceries. In Germany, we used to have Woolworths in Germany as well. They didn't have groceries. They just had more like... What did they have? It's not really something you can sum up with one word, what Woolworths did. I think they had like pick and mix, of course. They had like they had that. But they also had records, they had electronics, they had kitchen articles. Crazy, isn't it? All right, so just you do that. Control B, bring you into here and wiggle the playhead and hope you're gonna be all right somewhere. Where are you? You're here? That's insane. That's just that. What? No, hang on. What? No. Why doesn't that work? We've seen that before. Should we be alarmed? Or hide her and move on to the next person? To Grandma. Let's try the same with you here. I hope everything works much better here. I don't want to make new animation blueprints for you guys. Yeah, so for Grandma it totally works. Grandma's happy. The other person wasn't happy. So we'll take it on a person by person basis here. Change that to here, change that to here, change that to here. And then also go in fact over here to this guy. Perfect. That's you sorted, sir. Oh, sir. Sorted, sir. You are here. That's you there. Then we do this here and that there, then that there. And then that's you sorted. So it's only the first woman that had a problem here. Oh, and you as well. You don't even have an animation blueprint. Yeah, I think we ditched you from the other one. Michael McDonald here. So you need something that the other guys already had. That is hilarious. Interesting. J-car. J-car. See, that's totally on my mind. What I meant to type is dynamic scale. There we go. J-car. J doesn't have a car. Huh. What are they? Like a... Is it like a large chain or... How does J-car work? Yeah, we had a Radio Shack here on Miami Beach. That was quite nice. I think I bought a soldering iron from them. They have really good stuff. It's nice to have one of those around. It's not a store you go to all the time, but it's just wonderful to know that they're there, you know. And like with so many things, closed shop is now empty or sells phones or something. It's bizarre. You have an animation blueprint. That's great. Oh, everything electronics. I get you. Okay. I'm glad you still have a shop like that. You there, sir? Of course, sir. Change this to that. Plug that in. Then you here. We've seen you before. Like this. To that. To that. To that. And then we just wiggle the playhead a little bit and then everyone's all right. Kit. Kit's been replaced with this person here. Yes, yes, absolutely. So, but that means we really need to make you an animation blueprint, I think. ABP this guy. Ah, really? How much is it? Oh, that's hilarious. I'm glad that that thing actually exists. I think that's cool when companies do that. Flux capacitor. Yeah, you're right. I think it probably was Amazon's fault. Not Amazon in particular, but mail order in general. I think it's one of those business models that if the parent company is too slow to react and doesn't go with the times, it's devastating. And I think that's what may have happened there. If you don't take it seriously, like Kodak is always such a good example. No, it's not we're not gonna be affected. Yeah, well, you know, digital photography, we're not gonna be, well, Polaroid, same thing. No, we're massive, man. We're just, it's not gonna happen to us. So if you underestimate those things, these are not so good. And then that goes into here, and then that's all sorted except for first woman here. I don't know what's happened to her. Here, her. There's something just not quite right about her. Maybe I was going to take that back out and switch her to just animation asset again. Wiggle this, and no, she's just not coming in at all. That's weird. Animation asset custom, maybe? Does custom work? Yes, so there she is. So she works with custom. That's all good. And we are just checking, is here animation blueprint okay then? Visible but ignored. Local to me is going to undo that. That. Does that. This here. Root scale replace existing. That is 1.3. Expose to cinematics. In theory, this should work. In practice, however, oh, now it does. Hey, perfect. So there's nothing wrong. It was just one of those things. We don't question it. We do not question it. We just go, okay, fine. That's just one of those things then. Okay, one last level sequence to go. Actually, may not be. There might be more here, but I think I might do those on another day. Those standing people. I might just do that off the stream or on Monday. Because I do want to do other things today too. This is somewhere in the back, isn't it? Yes, perfect. So it's now all these guys in the back. Yeah, they do need to be a little bigger, so it's probably a good idea to spend some time. So there's you, for example. You might not have to do all the people in the back, but certainly the ones in the front here. Sort of cool that we're still with you here. It's a good point, Brian. Yes. Adventure Seek, how you doing? Do you know, it's not that much. It's they're all instances of people, so RAM usage is fairly conservative. It's also depending if something's further away from the screen, it gets not all the triangles that are in the scene get drawn in the scene, so not everything is in VRAM. So everything we don't see right now isn't in VRAM. Unlike with iRay, where everything is always in VRAM, even if you don't really see it because iRay. So yeah, that's not, it doesn't work like that in Unreal Engine. Welcome to the stream, by the way. Good to see you, buddy. I'm gonna go and increase the size of these people here because they came over a little bit too small. If it lets me. Adventure Seek, that is a very cool name, I have to say. I think we've had this before here. I think I might just go and load a different level and then come back to this. I'll load the start level again. Now I'll come back to this, and then we can even probably do it without doing this in the whole interior. That's another possibility. Yeah, they're all very intimidating. I hear you. It doesn't really matter which one you pick. They're all very All of them are very intimidating. Was it Foyer Crowd 3 that were on? I think it was, wasn't it? Yes, Foyer Crowd 3. Okay, so you... Actually, it's in the first one. You... Oh, you over here. That wasn't even you. No, it is you now. God, thanks. So, animation blueprint. Doesn't want to change it. It has changed it down here, so it could just be... Let's just restart the project. Unreal Engine and stable don't really go together in the same in the same sentence. But then it is this incredibly complex program under the hood, so I'm not surprised that things go wrong every once in a while. Come on, buddy, you can do it. Quite fun to read all these modules that get loaded. Ooh, fresh tomato and cheese rolls with avocado and chicken with lettuce. That does sound amazing, actually. That is great. We had something with... We had chicken, hummus and salad yesterday. That was quite nice too. Here it is. Yes, what is the special today, Julia? Let's have a look. Today's special is croissant and, with space missing, ham, egg, egg, and cheese. Only $29.99. But J don't avocado. Well, none of us are good at spelling these days. Crazy stuff. Yes, no, I don't like avocado. No, not really, no. I do like good guacamole every once in a while, but I have to be in the mood for it. It has to be, you know, properly seasoned. Come on. Have a cardo. Which ones do you prefer, the green ones or the black ones? Very different. We call the green ones Florida avocados here. And the black ones, they're technically Hass avocados, I think. Just avocado. Okay, first person here. She's over here, but she's also in here, so I'm already totally confused. And now this is her. So this is definitely, it's definitely that. I'll go and delete this whole track here. Maybe that's where things get mangled. Let's set another new keyframe that makes a new track on here. Eventually. So that animated blueprint. It's not taking. It's taking it here, but not here. That means I can't plug an animation blueprint into here. That is bad. So let's see. I mean, on her, in her case, maybe I'll use plan B then. On her, I have shifted the... And she appears to be in here twice. So I'm just confused about what's going on here. So perhaps we can do it with plan B, because I do have the animation, the animation pivot changed to her feet. So technically, can I just put 1.3 in here? And does that scale her up from where she is? She's just weird. I might just go to the next person here, which is Grandma. Let's go to Grandma. She was weird in the previous sequence, so she's here. She's weird now, so it's I don't know what's happening. Avocadist. That's with an O. Avocado. There's no R in avocado. Animation blueprint. Come on. It's also not doing it. What's going on? That's crazy. Yeah, so maybe there's something a little bit odd here. If we go and delete that track, and since I've also fixed Grandma's pivot, 1.3 here. Does Grandma get bigger, taller? No! Something bizarre is going on. I cannot explain it. I don't know what's happening here. I think I might leave this alone because it's just not something I can explain. And let's move on to the curtain, because the grammar police, yes. Exactly. Yeah, this I can't explain. I don't know what's going on here. I don't know why things don't behave the way they're supposed to. Worst comes to worst, I might just have to put new people into the front. I think for the background, I'm sort of happy. It's a shame we can't change their size the way I did it. It was supposed to be just a quick add the animation blueprint, but hey, it's one of the things. I can't explain it. What we observe shouldn't happen, yet it does, and it also means I can't do anything about it. So we might have to live with it, or rethink this area, or come back to it another day. I fixed Grandpa's pivot. I did. Honestly, I did. Right, let's go into our auditorium and grab out the references for the size of the screen here. Let's go and switch into this mode and see what the screen is like here. This is that screen. It's sized up, so I could. It literally is just the screen here. So I think we would probably also, whoops. In order to hide the curtain, I need to build a bit of a box around it as well, so that it makes sense. So that's something in which the curtain sort of gets hidden, so it can stick out a little bit. If this is the screen, let me go and bring in a cube for this, like you. And just grab this out here and paste that to that. I don't think we need anything on the bottom here, but we need something. Yeah, so okay, so this is an engine asset, so as such I don't want to make a change to this asset, because otherwise everything that uses that also gets changed, and I don't want that. So I'm going to go and grab myself a copy of this, but because I'm anticipating some new assets here, I'll make a new folder in my assets folder, and I'll call that curtain. And in here, I'm going to go and make a copy of this cube. That goes into here. And I'll copy that into here. In here, I'm going to go and call that SM curtain reference. And this I'm going to go and replace here. So now when I go and make a change to it, it'll only affect my asset. I'll switch into my modeling tools here and put the pivot exactly at the bottom face with this here, Xform edit pivot bottom. It's a destructive process. And now I can go and scale this up to the size that the whole thing is going to be. So a little bit like this and a bit like that. And then I have that as well as the screen. Screen is here, it'll just come out like that, I'm thinking. I just make sure Brian doesn't walk into it. And that's basically the box into which the curtain needs to hide. So something left and right of it that just hides the curtain. If we do want to even do that. Curtain reference. Okay, and then of course we have the screen. So let's go and export this out first of all. Export selected, and we need that in Blender. So curtain reference, source mesh, check. And we can go and get that out. This is going to be the screen. Screen. It's not actually an OBJ, is it? It's been FBXs. I should really do something about that. You're in grammar jail. Oh no. Misspelling without a license, exactly. Now, shall we indulge ourselves in Blender 5.1? I don't really like it much, to be brutally honest. I much prefer 4.1. But, you know, see if I can sort of get on with Blender 5. I have to say, on my system, 4.1 is just the best Blender ever. 4.2 has even started to be a little bit sluggish, but it was sort of, I could live with it. But Blender 5.0 and onwards, it's just one degradation of quality after another. Start times ever so slightly embarrassing. Let's see where that was. I've of course not made a note of where that actually is. Screen and reference. Okay. And there that is. Okay, that's that. And then that is that. Okay, I'll call this one reference. I'll go and save this as well. Curtain, should have really called that curtain V1, but that's okay. I'll go and make a duplicate of that collection. And this is going to be my curtain working thing. So the screen, or the reference rather, in fact both of them, they should now go to the center, so I can work from that. There's probably a much more elegant way to accomplish that. Like snap to 3D cursor, for example. Selection to cursor. Like that. Perfect. Let's do that. What would the fox say? Yes. Don't drop the soap in grammar jail or you pivot. Your pivot is offset. Forfeit even. Well, indeed, who is Claude? Who is Claude? Basic shape material. This is one thing that takes too long in Blender 5. Just changing that viewport display, but actually fairly swift here. That will make something like that. Nup just subscribed. Thank you, Nup. I appreciate that. Welcome to the channel. Oh, look at that. It's even slightly curved here. That's pretty cool. That is pretty neat. So what I need from this is essentially a little strip that sits above the screen that will act as a helper and morph. So let me go and add myself a plane here, RX90. Let's see if the normals are good here. They are good. Otherwise we would see them red. That's cool. So it can be slimmer. So SZ.3 is probably enough. And the whole thing needs to obviously be above the screen. So this is the thing that drives the curtain essentially. I'm going to stick the curtain to it. So I'll scale this up to where the curtain would end, something like that. Thinking that'd be good. Curtain reference, we don't want to make it too big, so I've got to be like that. It's got to fit into this box here. And then I want to go and I want to have two of these basically. There's going to be so we need to cut this in the middle, don't we? Dude. Perfect. So that's one, that's the other. I'm going to put my 3D cursor here, cursor to selected. Great. And then this, all transforms that we need to have the origin at that point. Perfect. And that one is going to be called driver left. And then we're going to have another one, this one that's going to be driver right. And driver right will have its origin here. Set origin to 3 cursor. Perfect. So, I mean, so far so good, right? We can probably even go and put a little material on this, make this refreshing shade of green, and make this a refreshing shade of blue. And now my plan is new fridge time. Well, he was earlier. Yes, that's true. The avocado green. Yes, he was here earlier. That's true. I'll go put the little cursor back to the world's origin. Ding. There we go. So now I will go and give each of these guys, and then we've applied all of that, right? We have, right? So we're going to give each of these guys a shape key. We're calling this one open left, and we're calling this one open right. Okay, they can still be the same avatar later. Save, because now the tough work begins. We're going to make another version of this curtain v2, just in case I screw this up, because I don't do this every day, you know. So avocados, I usually put them in the fridge. I wouldn't necessarily freeze them. But yes, fridge, I think avocados, fridge, I think so, right? I'd think. So now, let's give each of these a value. If we go into, oh, we also should, do we need to give this more geometry, potentially? We might not. Yet again, we might. Let us give each of these more geometry. So an uneven number, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11. 13, 15. 15 is good. Let's do that on both sides. 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, 13, 15. Only because I don't know, only because I don't know how Marvelous Designer will cope without it. And now let's move you. I have to be in edit mode for that, don't I? Duh. Cursor to selected. Perfect. So SX around the 3D cursor, SX to, let's say, here. It's probably a little extreme, but yeah, let's do it. Let's do it to here. That does that then. Perfect. Same with that. Cursor to selected around the 3D cursor. SX to about here. Okay, this is good. Yes, bananas not in the fridge. Also, bananas not next to anything else, not in immediate proximity or let alone touching. Like an apple touching a banana is basically, you know, death sentence for the apple. The banana goes off anyway, but the apple is gonna deteriorate like proper. Horizontal split for my little timeline here. And I don't know how long that animation needs to be. That we should determine. Because I need two things. The strips straight, they're gonna have to go and crinkle in a little bit so that can we animate these in a different manner? No. I have to go and put another one on, extend left and right, to just make that a little wider on either side, so that I can tack the curtain on flat, and then we'll go and crinkle that in just a little bit. But what's the time that we need to have here? They form a banana republic. That's exactly right, Brian. So true. That's interesting, Nancy's. I had no idea. Did you know that in Europe, I don't know why I'm coming to bananas from this, but there we go. This is where we really see that. I'm not sure if we're going to see the curtain here, so it's literally only here. Let's say from 23 to 20, set 28, 23 to 28. That's 5 seconds, so that's not bad. At 60 frames a second, though. 23 to 28, so 5 seconds. Gotcha. 5 seconds. Did you know that in Europe, eggs are not refrigerated when you buy them in the supermarket? Crazy stuff, isn't it? So if we think in frames here, 60 frames, 5 seconds, that's 300. Plus I need 30 frames at the beginning, so that's 330, and I need a few rest frames there. Let's make that 400, and then another one, so let's call that 500 frames in total. And then let's give us another shape key. I'll call this one setup. And setup in here, we're just going to extend to about here. Or to about here, maybe there. Three blobs is good. Okay, that's setup. And it'll all become clear why we're doing that in a moment. Well, let's call that one setup right. Setup left. Do you know what it would actually be? Let's delete that. I made a mistake. I'm trying to make it so that we can bring this whole thing into Marvelous Design at once and then just put 2 pieces of cloth on there. But if I do this extension like that, it's going to be awkward. So let's set up right, and this one is set up left. Okay, here I want to use the cursor here, cursor to selected, and let's expand everything out to here. Or even here. So that's 4 dip tops. And we'll do the same here. So that's 2 about here. Cursor to selected. cursor to selected. Should be left it there. SX to here. Yes. I think that's good, isn't it? That's to about here. This is now like 1, 2, 3 and a bit blobs, like here, right? Is that right? Yes. And here we have it. Oops. 1, 2, 3 to about here. Is that right? Yes. Perfect. Okay, good. Oh, so you ripen them yourself. Interesting. And you ripen them in the fridge. That's crazy. Nancy, that's crazy. Okay, so for the first then, this is where the animation part begins. For the first, we're starting with this. For, let's say, 50 frames, I want that to go down. And then from frame 100, I want my actual animation to begin. So I'll set another keyframe here. So this is set up. And then over the course of, what did we say, 5 seconds? So 5 times 60, that's 300. So up until 400, I want this thing to sort of animate. And that is the open left one. I want to animate to here. And then of course that will be 0 here. So that means this is a setup, then this is rest, and this is where the curtain actually opens. That's extremely slow, but that's only because I think we're set to 25. So let's put this to 60. And then, oh, then that destroys this. So yeah, let's go and do this back to 25 here. So I'm thinking in 60 frames a second. It's just Blender isn't doing its frame rate at that. So that's cool. I don't want to mess with this. When we bring it into Unreal Engine, it'll all make sense. I'm hoping. So this is set up, then from here to there is curtain opening, this is rest frames, and we can do anything and everything else from there. So let's do the same with this. So on the setup, we want that to be I, from here to there. That's 0. And then this is going to be 0 here. And then from here, it's also 0 here, to 400, that's gonna open up. And then it's rest frames. So that's the setup. That makes the curtain look nice. And then from here to there, it should open. That's the plan. If it'll work, well, we'll have to wait and see. I will go to the bathroom and then I will be right back, and then we'll put all this into Marvelous Designer. Hopefully it's going to work. Fingers crossed. Marvelous Designer, you can get it for 280, I think. Yeah, I think it's what was the last time I checked? It was 30 a month for Marvelous Designer, or 280 a year, or 50 a month for Clo. But thankfully, I don't have to pay that. I'm using the perpetual version. It's the last perpetual version that came out, which was Marvelous Designer 12. But I'm quite grateful for the fact that I was able to upgrade to that. So this is perpetual locked in. And I don't have the latest features, but the ones that are in here are perfectly fine. So I'm going to go and export my Blender thing via Alembic into Marvelous Designer and then attach cloth to it. And hopefully this is going to work. I don't know if it will. Alembic export. Let me go and put that on my quick favorites, because I have a feeling we're going to do this lots of times. There's something about the scale. Alembic scale is always a little bit off. Alembics, this is going to be curtain. In fact, this is probably don't need to have another subfolder here. This is going to be curtain V2 sounds good. It needs to be 100 times larger for it to arrive properly in Marvelous Designer. I think, but I don't recall. I don't do this very often. Let's see how it is. Import Alembic OBJ. And all the other good things aren't going to work. OBJ would have to be a sequence because it doesn't describe an animation, so it'd have to be an OBJ sequence. MDD sequence. FBX would need a skeleton for it to understand that. And this, I think, is going to work. Alembics, I think, if I remember correctly. And it's going to be open as far a millimeter, I think so. Move garment to start position and move avatar to transition animation. Yeah, let's not worry about that. We don't even have a garment. It's fine. Let's see. Yes! No! What did I do? I forgot to say. This is better looking viewport here. I forgot to say selected only. Let's do that again. Export Alembic. That selection only. Mr. Chris Cox, everyone! Woohoo! This is why I really need applause on my Steam Deck here, so I can go, Mr. Chris Cox, all right! I am, of course, having coffee from the original limited edition Chris Cox mug, limited only to the amount that can be physically produced at Redbubble. Welcome, Chris. Good to see you. I forgot to say Alakazam. That is exactly right. Chris, crazy stuff. I'm preparing a curtain animation, an opening curtain for my little title sequence here. This went wrong. Let's go and import that again. Import Alembic. That should now do that. Yes, that's sort of cool, I guess. I guess this is semi-cool. We don't actually know if it's cool or not because we don't yet know. But yeah, no, no. Why would that happen? It's not exactly how I planned it. It's only one side. Duh. Okay, that's third time lucky because I want to select these two together. Now we're going to go export Alembic. It was only one side. Come on. Third time's the charm. No, not OBJ. 60 million options. It's too much. Twice the size. That's good. Open, yes. Yes. Is it? Yes. 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 It's amazing. This is great. Except I'm gonna have to go do some eyeballing here. So what I now need to do is attach the cloth to this, but I can't see where exactly the division is, so I'm gonna have to just go and eyeball that. That is true. You can only watch half the stream when the curtain is open. Okay. But thanks to these shadowy bits and pieces here, we should be able to do that. Okay, so from here to sort of there, that's going to be our first piece. And because it's a curtain, let's go and make that sort of, you know, it's going to be a red curtain. And then the other piece is going to go here. Yes. And everything else, we're just going to go and pray it'll happen the way Jay has thought it out. So these guys are gonna come close to the drivers here. I'll leave a little bit of a gap. And then by the magic of, hopefully, tack on avatar, the idea is we're gonna go and marry those things up here. Don't know how big the gaps need to be. Just need to make sure that the left part doesn't get yanked away by the driver of the right part and vice versa. And this sort of solves the problem of having to simulate the mesh that you make in somewhere else. So this should sort of be enough here. It's a little higgledy-piggledy, but that's, you know, that's the charm. And since I don't know where exactly that gap is, I'll do this a little conservatively here in the middle. Be prepared, we may have to do this several hundred times for this to work, but we'll see how it goes. Okay. Before we do anything, let's go and save this thing. Project's good. Location's not so good. Curtain opening V1. Shall we have something else? Tell you what, let's go and do a bit of music. Let's stand the birds down for a bit. I'm in for some music now as well myself. Let's that's Epic Games, and what I meant to say is Epidemic Sound. Exactly. Let's listen to a little bit of relaxed piano music in the background. I like the idea of a little bit of very chilled out. It's always happy music, dreamy beats. That's always neat, dreamy beats, quiet piano things. Let's do that. See how that goes. if something does even come out, which I'm not entirely sure if it does. Does it? OBS says it does. I just can't hear it, so enjoy the music if you can hear something. I hope that is better. Yes, why is it called a tea towel? It's a very, very good point, Leo. I have no idea. Oh, is it related to this here? You're welcome. I'm glad it works. Can I not hear anything? It's cool. If you can hear it, that's fine. I'm okay not listening to music. So I've saved it. The thing with Marvelous Designer is it has a bit of an issue once you do this as an animation. It can't go back. You can't undo it. It's just something it goes and it just goes and does. Let me go and just simulate it and see if it works. It works. That's good news. What's my particle distance on this? Oops. Particle distance is 20. It's probably good for now. Let me see if it works in principle. If I go and record this. This is the first bit, so that this is how the curtain is going to start. These are the rest frames, and this is how it's going to open. So it looks like I do actually need some more rest frames, because it's fairly unstable there. But that works! That is just incredible, isn't it? That already works. And these are the rest frames that probably going to make it into the animation. It might not be a problem with the beginning. It's just a bit too wafty, so I think I'm gonna add a few more rest frames into this so that it can stabilize at this position. I didn't want it to start like that. That's also a possibility. We can just do without the starting bit. I did like the idea of having it start from a resting position like that, because that just looks much nicer. And that needs to be firm and quiet, and then it'll do that. So yes, it looks like we need to... They do, right? Absolutely. So this whole bit, I think it's worth it, because then behind it is the... is the screen that's then playing the animation. So I'm thinking, how much time would I need? So if they go from here, let's go... So I think that's probably 5 seconds at 60 frames. So we're talking 300 frames in between here. So from here to there, we need to make that from 50, make that 300, call it 350 frames. So these guys are going to start from here to there. Let's do that. So now it's an 800 frame animation. This is the beginning, and this is going to be the rest frames, and then from here this is the usable stuff that we're gonna use. Okay, good stuff. Curtain V3, come on. It's now a fly stopper. Now you want a scone, of course. Both pieces are selected. Curtain V3 is going to be that. And now I don't know if we can just re-import that. I I think I might have to go and just reset this up from scratch, sadly, but it was also not rocket science, so it's fine. We can save this as curtain opening V1. That's correct. Yes, I do want to replace that. Curtain opening V2 is the one that we're gonna really want. Okay, so import alembic, curtain V3. And once again, we'll use that here. And we'll use that, oops, we'll use that nice red again. And we're using that here. Okay. We're using these two things slightly closer to there. And then we'll use tack on avatar. Don't know how many of these tacks we actually need. I don't think we need that many. Maybe I'll be a little bit more liberal. With the distances here. And then just maybe another one over here. Okay. Maybe we'll put one more in between here. Because it doesn't cost anything, they're totally free. Understand, it's completely free to put tax on these things. That's will be good here. Save as curtain opening V2. And this was 20 particle distance. We saved it. We can go back anytime. Simulation quality, we could set this to animation immediately, but let's just see how this goes in principle. And boom, go into resting position and then wait there, which it does. Yeah, this is a much nicer resting position to begin with. Shame the curtain isn't actually together, but I think I can probably finagle that once I'm in the theater. I think we're cutting right to it as it opens, so it's going to be fine. That didn't look so bad. So So all of this will cut off and we'll start from here. I think I like that idea. We'll see how we cope with the other side of the normals there. I don't want to do any stitching over it. I think that's probably as much time as we can invest on this. I think the only thing I will do is just go and simulate this again with animation quality. I think particle distance is also fine. Let's go and do this. Ding! Slightly more accurate. Now off to Substance Painter, that's right. I hope it's not gonna, I don't think it's gonna be a major thing, but yeah, let's just go UV unwrap these. And then the other big adventure is now for my first trick. And then, of course, bringing that alembic animation into Unreal Engine. That's another small challenge, perhaps. I will call this one Curtain Opening V2 Draped, because that saves the animation data. So if I needed it again, I can just go and export it back out here. Which is why it's taking so long to do. And I think then this here and plane, I can just go and disable maybe. Oops. Because I don't really need to. I think that's the avatar anyway, so I think avatar's not gonna have. Let's see how it goes. Let's see how it goes. So UV unwrapping first. It's only 2 pieces, so we're good. You're leaving, Nancy's? Oh, what a shame. That's UV packing, isn't it? Yes, packing. 0 to 1 space. We're good. Apply, maybe? I mean, it's as good as it gets, isn't it? It's kind of what we need here. All right, UV unmapping done. I think I may have to export this twice. Once as the OBJ, just so that I can make the texture. And maybe once as the alembic. But I don't really know. This is curtain V3 draped. And all patterns, no avatars, single object, weld, thin, UV coordinates. I don't really need to have any of the textures. And I think, let's use centimeters. And it's sort of this frame here, which is actually not so good. I should have really used this frame here. What was I thinking? Let's do it again. Yes. Okay. Now the slightly trickier part. Exporting the Alembic file. So this one is curtain v3 draped also. Excellent. Ogawa or HDF5. Thin UV coordinates, let's say it's centimeters. Oh, we don't need the entire region actually. We can probably cut this off a tad. Shouldn't be that big a deal. The whole thing. Let's just do the whole thing. I said what like that? What did I say? Like what? Well, you export this. I'm gonna go into the substantial painter. Oops. Hey Chris, this is a question for you. Maybe you can answer that. And I don't really know the reason for this, but in the latest version, I've noticed the version that's just come out, the version 12, I think, they've made a change to Substance Painter that whenever I open it, I now get the color space is no longer linear. It's now set to aces, which means the moment I bring in an object, it looks just much darker than I remember it. We'll use Unreal Engine starter assets. And we don't have a high-res mesh, we just have the low-res one. And it's gonna be... And I was wondering if you knew A, why is that? And B, how can we bring it to be linear by default? So let me show you what I mean. Once this is in here, I can see that my background is... What? It's because... That's because... Oh, dang. Thank you, Leo. I will ask him in the... I will ask him privately then. But yeah, this is the problem. The background here is completely pitch black, and you can bring it back if you go to here to this monitor icon, and then you scroll down, and there's the tone mapping function is set to aces. The previous version of Substance Painter also supported that, but it defaulted to linear, which on the viewport is just a much better experience for me. Aces is a bit too crushed, I find. Answers on a postcard. I'm saying that, Deviant, because that's a Bob Ross thing. Bob Ross always says things like Prussian blue. Let's treat ourselves to 4K map. Yeah, he prefaces words sometimes with a H, and I don't really know why. It's also like old English sayings, like why, because you want to emphasize something that doesn't really start with a letter you can elongate and pronounce. I just don't know where I can make it the default. I have to switch it on a per project basis, and that's not so good. What are these curtains made of? Is it cotton with a shine? Fabric cotton jersey? Cotton tight weave? Could try that. I mean, aside from obviously it not being green. Do we have something like that's the like a pattern here? Ocean, Havana, midnight blue. I don't know if cotton is the right thing for us here. Definitely red. A darker, perhaps a slightly desaturated red. And I think definitely darker is usually not a problem to make that in Unreal Engine if we needed that. could even leave it gray, and then I can add a color where I needed it. I might just add one, just overwriting the roughness to give that a little more sheen. Like the Twin Peaks curtain. Red velvet. That, you know, let's have a look if I have velvet in my library. Velvet? No, I don't. But maybe these friendly people from the Adobe Corporation have velvet. Do they? There we go. Sheen velvet, carpet velvet, fabric velvet, interlacing, embossed velvet. We're gonna try them all. Sheen velvet, come on. Also good cake, yes. Has it downloaded already? I can't tell. Velvet, sheen velvet, yes, that's the one, wasn't it? Sheen velvet, yes. All right. Orange velvet gold iridescence. You can do iridescence and stuff. That's good, isn't it? Teal velvet rose, green velvet, blue velvet, red iridescence. But there's no red velvet. I feel like this is pretty close though. If we just go and make it red here, maybe? And perhaps not quite so saturated. Yes. And then we'll turn the scale down to whatever I had on here. That was 4. Yes, I'm thinking. Color sheen I'm okay with it being that. Maybe just a little bit something darker. Very Twin Peaks. Sheen velvet, okay. Let's also save that. Mr. Nate is back. How's it going? Deviant was asking why I'm saying it that way, and I didn't quite know what to say. But something about Bros, so I think no, I'm not gonna make it Prussian blue. No, it's gonna be sheen red today. Now the bigger, oh yes, let's export the textures here, of course. I think everything except for emissive we want to do, and let's treat ourselves to 4K because why not? That's my folder. Come on. Now the big thing, of course, is will we be able to import it into Unreal Engine and will it fit into this here? I'm going to make a test level and just see if it behaves the way I hope it's going to behave. Size Shenanigans is a good one to start with. Oh, you've been here the whole time. Cool. That's good. Even better. Do you know, I caught you streaming the other day when you were streaming a game I think you really didn't like. I didn't have much time, so I didn't even have time to chat, so I just realized you were not having a good time. This one is gonna be the alembic testing ground. We can probably make it lit. And we don't need any large people here either. Perfect. Okay, this. That's the one. Earth defense. Earth defense. And neither you nor Croco were having fun, which I find that so sad. But it's games like that, you know. Sometimes they happen, don't they? Okay, I'm gonna go and drag my curtain textures into here. This is already good. We don't have UDIMs, so texture streaming is not enabled, but that's okay. Oh, were you? Because I saw that in the title. I was sort of hoping that was, but I didn't catch that part. Are you going to play more Cyberpunk? How are we going to get the alembic in? Let me just go and do this here. Alembic, and then we'll try to. I'm never sure about the rotation and size, so I want to import this as geometry cache, not static mesh, not skeletal. Skeletal will actually make a skeleton. It'll look at all the points and then it will make a skeleton and do it all with morph targets. So very cool. But yeah, I think geometry cache is the best one. Static mesh it's basically like an OBJ sequence, but it's not great for what we want. We want this. Flatten all tracks, yes. Compressed position precision. Preset. Ay, caramba. That I don't know. Let's see. Maya, let's just see how it goes. Windrose, okay. I don't think I've heard of that. Oh, really? Oh, that's nice. You meet random Italian guys to help you out. That's quite cool. How does it work with those games? Is it like, it must be like a public lobby that you have there? I've never played it. The what's it called? The Earth Defense. I might have it actually. I don't know. It's possible. I'm looking forward to trying out, when I get a chance and have some time, this black and white game that's just come out, Mouse PI. That looks kind of nice. It's like a platformer. I don't know how difficult it's going to be, but it's a platformer, black and white. You play as some kind of a detective. Looks a bit like the very early Mickey Mouse, and it's all sort of rubber hose style. Oh, cool. Hey, this looks like it's the correct orientation. Should I have said recompute normals? It's hard to say at the moment. But there. Ha 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 ha. That is very nice. Hey Nate, I'm the speaking curtain. Anyway, let's see if we can put a material on this. Material, that means we need to actually have one. I think the normals might be screwed. Yes, I'm looking forward to that as well. Do we have sort of a master material, right? Do we not? Let me just go and put that into here. And we'll say this is MI curtain. We may have to just re-import it with the dialog. Base normals ORM. Base normals ORM. And roughness multiplier, I think. Well, we'll just see how it goes. And then with you here. Hello? No material? Oh, perhaps we save it. Be kind of nice to have a bit of a material preview here, if that's okay. But no, that is not okay. Why not? No set face names. Well, that's rude, isn't it? See how that behaves when we go and put it in like this. Oh, there it is. Perfect. And that's a geometry cache actor. That's a bit too... so high res my viewport can't keep up. I think this might work nicely. So then, if we had the level sequence here. And then you go on to here. And then here we have geometry cache. I think normals are okay in this case. Do we need roughness multiplied in any shape or form? Oops. We do, because without it, it looks like blood or tomato sauce. So maybe 2.5. It has a little bit of sheen then. Quite crazy just how much movement there's still in there. So I can go and cut that. And then this can be the start of our animation here. And then I think all I need then maybe is something at the top to hide this edge here, because it wouldn't really be... maybe it doesn't even matter. Oh, that's probably 60 frames then. That makes it even slower. Could be that the frame rate just needs to be expanded a little bit. Oh yeah, look, we've got about 16 seconds, so that's actually twice as long as we wanted it to be. So properties, and then the play rate twice as fast, and then we're good with the 8 seconds that we had budgeted for. So this should be real time now. Yes. Ooh. Expanse, yes, absolutely. We've watched some episodes. We never finished it. I like the actress with the extremely deep voice, the Indian actress. Very cool. She does a lot of video games. Very recognizable voice. Well, I'm sold. Let's see if we can put it in to our interior. Let's hope it fits, huh? Do you know what I could have done? What I totally didn't do. First of all, we'll put this into the testing library here. And in testing, I might just go and spawn the curtains. Let's not spawn the curtains. It's fine. It's sometimes I'm trying to make my life easier and then it's not really. Trailer is spelled with an E rather than an O, being the grammar police again. But thanks for the trailer. Okay, let's put that in here. It's not quite big enough, is it? I thought it was a bit small. At least it's got the origin point, I think, where it needs to be. So 10 times bigger, you think? Yes! No! 10 times is too big. So what with our reference? That was obviously 100% accurate. What is this? Well, that's bizarre, isn't it? I'm extremely disappointed in the reference. Oh, it's also because it might actually, forget it, 10 is probably okay. As long as the height's almost okay. Height's almost okay. Height's actually perfect. 10 times is the size. Good point, yes. Hey, as long as the meaning comes across, who cares about the details, right? So we could say this. Goes onto that. Oh, it's the other way round, I think. Put that there and then turn it. There we go. 180. And then we just go and put that forward a notch. We've got the material on it already. Ah, man. This is just going great. So now we need a real sequencer here. Subs, and we're gonna call it sub open curtains. And let's make that 60 frames as well. Let's add you to here. Bring on the geometry cache. Go to sort of here and put that to sort of here, and then so that we don't have cut this here and grab that out so we have a bit of overhang here. And because it's cache, we can actually cut this and blend it into one another as well. Very cool. You can't do that with all simulations like water and stuff like that, you can't do that, because with fluid simulations the vertex position changes from frame to frame, so you can't blend them in. But with cloth it stays the same, so the vertices just change position where you see them go. But with water it doesn't work that way. I think with all the what's it called, the fluids and stuff. Oh, and then the other thing is we didn't have the right speed. So play rate is 2. And then we can, whoops. And this then here, play rate, we can make something slower just so that we have like 0.1, and we have 10 times longer rest bit here. There, so just as Brian walks in and we cut to this, we open that up, so perfect. And then it stays open. So all we need to do now then is just bring him forward a bit so it doesn't intersect with the screen. Might even move him around. Actually, why don't we just leave him like this? I'll give you a transform track, lock that in. Oh yes, I know that. Yes, my PC does that sometimes as well. This looks good at the beginning, but then we intersect here a little bit. So at that point, let's just go and move it out a tad. And then we're good. And there's room for adjustments here, so that's all pretty neat. But that's the curtain, so let's see what happens if we switch this to this. And whoops, hello, that's not quite caught up yet. There we go, nice one. And then we'll have to dim the lights as well in that shot. Let's just have a quick look at it and then bring that in, just shot 13. I'd like to see what that looks like here. Oh, come on, buddy. Just a bit of window resizing and that should be okay, right? Just so that I can switch off some of the crowd people here. Goody, so I can go straight to here, maybe? Oh man. I think Unreal Engine is struggling here a little bit. You're a two-finger type guy. Yeah, that's the only thing with alembic. It's very... It's a bit heavy. And since we only need it for this shot, I'll go and add it just to here as a subsequence. Much like Brian. Curtain opens here. I can open slightly before if we want. And here it goes. And now the next thing we need to do is find an animation to play on that actual screen. Can even bring it forward a tad. Well, there we go. It's really good. And Alembic is nice because it assures position of your vertices, no matter what the rigging is or what any sort of correction morphs are. It's just that, and it works really well. And lots of apps support it. It's always, I find it just a bit scary sometimes, that's all. There, and then that's 3D Shenanigans. They look a little shiny. I agree. I think we're gonna judge that when the light is in. I just sort of like the shininess. But yeah, that's easy to adjust with the window I've just closed. Dang. Let me just try this here. It was the roughness multiplier here. Or just the actual roughness value. I think that also... that gets rid of that eventually. There we go. I'll see how it goes. It's like a 3-second delay between me pressing it and and it's something actually happening. Yes, at the same time as they open, the lights are going to dim as well. There, less shiny now. Also, now it likes playing it, so maybe we even get something along the lines of real time. Yeah, there we go. Maybe it's just a bit of caching under the hood here. Very cool. Look at that. Very nice. Now it does look like a plastic shower curtain. And then had we done it even better, we would have done some sewing on the bottom, give it a little normal edge, but we're okay without any of that. I think that was good work. I think we've done a lot. And looking at it, I don't think I even need anything at the top. I was going to put a box there, but I might just to hide that little bit of edge at the very top there, I might just go and put the curtains a tiny bit higher, since we've already got that thing here. Just a smidge, I think that'll be enough. And I think then, believe it or not, we're probably good to go. Oh, now we're showing the same thing at the bottom there. Okay, so maybe I'll stretch it out a bit. So that, let's make that 10.5. And then we just go bring it down a notch. Again. And then we might call it a day. Look, there's nothing at the top, nothing at the bottom. Beautifulness. I think that's it. I think I'm going to go and leave it like this. What a shame. Fluid playback has been sacrificed, bizarrely. Even though it was working just so well a moment ago. No one really knows why these things happen in Unreal Engine. Yeah, because we literally had just now fluid playback, didn't we? Did I make that up? What happened since then? Thank you, Deviant. I appreciate it. I will be back on Monday at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Tomorrow, Brian is streaming at 10 o'clock in the morning. Is what happened with fluid playback. It was literally just fluid now, wasn't it? Crazy stuff. Now it's unfluid. Bad Unreal Engine. It'll all be good when it's rendered. It's curtains for you. It's curtains for me too. Have a great weekend. I'll see you Monday, 5 p.m. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.